Well, we're joined now by blogger Vicky Pisarius, who wants her children to call her mummy, and mum of two, Joelle Borraccio, whose daughter calls her by her first name. You know, this is one of the things that really annoys me if my children try and call me Kate. I kind of feel like, you know, it's an honour to be a mummy and lucky to be one, but also there's only two people in the world that get to call me mummy, and everyone can call me Kate and lots of other names as well. But, you know, I want them to do that. Why are you chilled out about it?
Well, in my case, it's basically my daughter who decided to call me by my first name. Giselle was 3 years old and I was expecting my second child, Chanel. And suddenly she came home from preschool, and she came home and she called my husband, Steve, and me, Joelle.
Just out of the blue, like,
out of the blue.
Didn't discuss it?
It was so shocking. I just looked in disbelief, and I looked at my husband, and he seemed cool about it. Initially, I was like, no, I'm your mummy. Call me mummy. And she was like, no, you're Joelle to me. So it went on for a while, and then I asked her one day, I was like, why are you doing this? And she said, because you're my best friend. So I couldn't argue with that. There was no way I could force her again to say mummy. But tomorrow, if she does decide, it's her choice, and I respect that.
Well, I just think I disagree quite profoundly with her. It's not a big deal, is it? I mean, you know, we're not going to fall out. We're not going to fall out of it. But if a child sees you as Kate, or my daughter sees me as Dickie, that's how they see me, and your daughter sees you as Joelle, that's how she's... Why can't she express that? Why does she have to sort of censor herself?
Well, I've got views. Why do you think so?
I think, you know, as parents, we really want our children to call us mum. You know, you're sort of tentatively waiting for your child's first word, which is always going to be dad, isn't it?
Yeah. Giselle's first name was Dada.
Yeah, which is easier to say dad. It's nothing to do with, like, your bond. But essentially, so you get, you know, and then, like you say, it is a privilege. I like my little boys to call me mummy. Obviously, you know, respect that your daughter likes to choose that for your name, but my little one started saying Vicky the other day, and it just felt really odd.
What did you do?
Like,
did you
take it actually just laughed and said, you know, but I'm mummy. But yeah, I think it's down to the choice, but on the whole, I would like that. I also think there's a safety thing around it as well. My eldest child looked, had quite light hair growing up, and he's 7 now, and I remember being mistaken for a nanny once when they had a new nursery teacher.
Look that much like...
Yeah, although we do look quite similar now, and so I think, for me, that it meant a lot that I was the mum, really, and he was saying that.
Why do you think... What was his motive for calling you by your first name? How did that get into his head?
It was because he's 4, and I think he'd just sort of gone, you know, Daddy's Peter. I think they're processing the world around them rather than just calling me. You know.
Yeah, and also, I think if you have one child, then that's the only person in the world that's calling you mummy. Everyone else they see you talking to your husband and
unless
your
you're
partner,
a mummy blogger
else.
and people send you emails going, dear honest mum.
Well, then
or
you
dear
get that fake.
Yeah.
But is there a more serious issue here? Because, you know, you're not your little girl's best friend, you're her mum.
Good point.
And there will come a point when you have to discipline her, when you won't be her best friend, she'll hate you and she'll slam doors and she'll walk out the room. And if you allow her to blur those lines now with a name, then it might be harder to do so.
Well, the thing is that I think it depends on how it's communicated to her and how the relationship is growing. Well, it is Giselle's choice to call me by my name, and tomorrow if she decides to go back to mummy, it's fine. There are times where she still calls me mummy because she knows that I'm her mum, especially when she wants something. Oh, she's very cheeky. Then she'll be like, mummy, or if she's done something wrong.
You know what's coming.
And the same thing every day when she comes home from preschool and when Daddy comes home from office, she will say, hello, Daddy. But 90% of the time, there's Steve and Joelle to her.
We've had a big response to this from my viewers.
Yeah, a lot of
read some of them out.
feelings.
Very quickly, Sean, what's your take on this?
Well, my daughter is 19 and started calling me Sean only a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not having it. That is disrespectful. I'm sorry.
What did you say?
Call me Sean. Do not call me... Well, she called me Sean for a few weeks, and on text, and then I just said, look, we're going to sit down and talk about this. It's not happening.
Was she
she's fine. She's fine with it. Yeah, she's showing a bit of respect.
Daddy or Dad? Or?
Dad. Yeah,
Did you ask her why she started calling you that?
I think she's trying to be cool with her friends. Yeah, I think so.
What about you, Alex?
Well, I have to confess that when me and my brother, right up until primary school age, we actually called our mum and dad by their names, so it was Noelle and Caroline. And I remember running out of primary school, running towards my mum, going, Caroline, Caroline! And all the parents just looking around and just saying, like, what is going on here? But then we just kind of, like, snapped out of it naturally. Yeah. Like, you know, and I can only think the reason we did it was because we listened to my mum and dad, obviously calling each other by their name.
I must admit, I can't... Just going back to my own childhood, I cannot imagine calling my dad Chris. or my mum Claire. I just can't imagine it.
imagine that. My parents wouldn't have it.
Listen, very quickly, we've had some viewers' comments. This is a great one. Jo Munson, morning Jo, on Twitter. She says, Jo Munson, my daughter calls me Margaret. My name is Jo.
Oh, that is where I said Grandma Richard. That's a good one as well. This is quite sweet. Mark says, I was proud to refer to my folks as mum and dad, and now they're both gone. I miss those words and everything they stood for. It's a good point, isn't it? They're the only people you get to call mum and dad, so make the most of it.